Happy you could come along. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes GBD in DuPont Circle, Rustico, 2 locations in Alexandria and Ballston. Greg, it is always good to see you.
You too.
What do we have on tap this week?
So this week we are celebrating yet another new craft brewer to finally sell their beer down here. It seems like every few months or so we get a brewery, a new brewery. But in this case, we're talking about Sly Fox Brewing Company, which has been around for many years, almost 20 years now. Yeah, because there'll be the 1995 Sly Fox started up in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. So I think if you're a big craft beer geek from the East Coast, you probably had Sly Fox before. Right. Whenever you're up in Philly, they're very well known in the Mid-Atlantic, but based on how great their beer is and the confines of their previous breweries and brew pubs, they weren't able to service the market until now. And so they just came down here for the first time with their core line of beers. A lot of their other stuff is coming up, and definitely their flagship and one of my favorite beers of all time is the Pikeland Pils, which is what we are tasting today.
Great nose. That's cereal.
Super fresh.
It's just good. Now, I have to say, I have had most of the beers of the week I haven't had before. This one, I was at a bar in someplace in southern central Pennsylvania, and one of their guys came in and they had a beer tasting event. They gave us a couple of free glasses, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And I've had it in New York. I've had it in Philly. When I see it, it's a go-to. It's going to be good, so I buy it.
It's great, and it's fresh too. It's local, so they're sending fresh beer down, serving it in cans. So very little, no lights getting in, no air's getting in. Heat may affect it, but it's a perfect thing besides keg for delivering the beer itself. And as a Pilsner, this is Brian O'Reilly. Brian O'Reilly is a friend of ours here, and he is the brewmaster for Sly Fox and has been so since 2002. So he is just a great brewer, and this is a classic beer. I think about like Victory Prima Pils, and I think about my favorite Pilsners in the U.S. Well, this one is right on that same level for me. And it's a very simple, classic recipe that is evocative of the old school Northern German Pilsners that were very dry and nicely bitter in the finish. Most of those have softened and become much sweeter and lighter these days. So this is a kind of homage to the old days of Pilsner brewing. It's just 100% German Pilsner malt. And so that's why it's just so clean and crisp and clear. It's hopped with 3 varietals. You've got German-grown Northern Brewer, which gives it a little bit of like a minty evergreen kind of quality in the finish. Tettnang and Saaz hops. Tettnang from Germany, Saaz from the Czech Republic for herb and spice. Clean and crisp, but 44 IBUs, International Bittering Unit. So on the high side for Pilsners. And then best of all, it's only 4.9% alcohol. So it is truly sessionable and something you can drink quite a bit of, whether it's hot in the summer or even as it's cooling into the fall.
The best thing I can say about a beer is if I got stuck on a desert island with just one type of beer, this would be just fine.
Exactly. It never gets old.
Why does it take basically a regional, nearly regional brewery 20 years to get down the road from outside Philly to here?
Well, I think it's a classic story of production capabilities and the demands of the market. It's kind of like, earlier on in the 90s, probably there wasn't as much demand, so they never thought about it. But they have expanded multiple times, opening new brew pubs and things like that to keep up with demand. And now as things are booming, they finally they just made a decision. Now, other breweries would say, we're going to stop where we are. We'll be mid-Atlantic. We won't go as far south as D.C. and Virginia. Keep making what we're making and be happy there. They decided that the demand was there, as it surely is, and they just last year, got the money to open a large production facility in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, where the brewery is now centrally located. So it's a great question. It's one that everybody's different. Russian River just announced that they are never going to expand. They have their brew pub, they have a production facility, they make 14,000 barrels a year, and they say that's going to be it forever. So obviously they could probably get the funding, and there's certainly markets out there demanding for their beer, but they're happy where they are.
Okay, totally respect that.
Yeah.
What would you pair this with?
This is just like you say, desert island beer, sessionable beer. It's a beer that can go with pretty much anything,
Bacon cheeseburgers.
Bacon cheeseburgers. Just thinking of that, like pub grub, you know? There's bitterness here. It's dry, but it's not an IPA. So you can do it with, you know, things that are spicy like wings, and it won't light your mouth on fire. This is the perfect wings beer. It's a perfect pizza beer. Bitterness and acid can be problematic, but this mild, earthy bitterness is really nice with tomatoes. It kind of adds an herbal component to that. So, yeah, this is like the old school pairings that people used to say, you know, beer goes with burgers, wings, and pizza. Well, full-flavored pilsners like this certainly do.
Okay. Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.